Hey Deepak, so nice to meet you. Would you like to introduce everyone to yourself?
Yes, hi Daniel. My name is Deepak Maini. I'm a principal business consultant with a company called Autodesk. We are one of the top technology providers in the world. Our technology is used in pretty much every single industry where anything is built on computers. So talking about construction, talking about manufacturing, as well as media and entertainment. If I'm sure everybody watches movies that are made in Hollywood, I reckon most of the animation movies use some products of ours.
Wow, okay. And how long has this been running for?
So the company from memory was first formed in 1982. So we've been out in the out there for a while.
Is this your first time at this expo?
No, this is my third time at this expo. The first one after COVID, where we had a booth, and then last year, and then this year.
How do you find this one compares to the others?
Can I tell you, I was telling one of my colleagues, one, there are way more people than previous years. But second, which is really, really good to see, is more women coming through the doors than previous years. And it's so good to see women, especially in construction. I reckon that's something that we've been trying for a long time. And it's amazing to see so many women coming through the doors and getting into the construction field, whether it's through architecture or engineering. So that's brilliant.
100%, I agree. I think especially all the women speakers and a lot of like women diversity and all that sort of conferences, I think it's been adding to that. It's really good to see.
Yeah, 100%. I reckon a lot of credit also goes to women in the industry. There are a lot of these women who have started these programs like Women in BIM or Women in Construction or Women in Design and Construction and so on. A lot of these women who've been in the industry for a while have now taken it upon themselves to bring more women into this world. And it's amazing to see the brilliant work that they are doing. They run a lot of events. They run a lot of, I think, sessions. You should bring them on your podcast as well. Definitely. Some of those ladies, as I said, they've been doing a brilliant job in the last 5 to 7 years.
100%, would love to speak to them. We'd love to hear about maximizing construction IQ and machine learning for predictive analytics.
In construction industry, one of the challenges that we face is it's such a fluid state. There's so much happening in the field. So I go on site and I see a problem. There are technologies out there, and one of our technologies, which is called Autodesk Construction Cloud, it lets me take a photograph and define what the problem is as an issue and assign it to someone. And as soon as I assign it to someone, they get the notification and so on, which is absolutely brilliant. But then because construction is so complex, there are hundreds and hundreds of issues created every day. There are hundreds and hundreds of RFIs, which is requests for information, created every day. Now, sitting back in the office, if an engineer looks at 872 problems, how do they know which one to attend to first? Because by the time they come to, let's say, number 257, there's already a problem on site, right? So this is where the power of artificial intelligence is absolutely amazing. Artificial intelligence powers our construction IQ program. What it does is it looks at all the descriptions of all the problems on site, and then it identifies what are major problems that need to be addressed first.
Wow.
So instead of listing them 1 to 800, it'll go and pick, let's say, 471 and put it as number 1, because that's critical. That's number 1 priority.
High priority, yeah, right.
Yes. But this is the power of AI. But the problem is AI also hallucinates. So AI hallucination is really common, where if the AI program is not modeled with the right information and it's not trained with the right amount of data, it makes things up. I mean, if you go and Google search AI hallucination, you'll find so many crazy examples.
Right. I've never heard of that term, but ChatGPT, I find, does that as well. Just make up information sometimes, you know.
So if I just quickly sidetrack from what I was saying, because you mentioned ChatGPT, if you Google this, so apparently there was this passenger in the US who sued an airlines, right?
Right.
Because of some problem. So the lawyer of that passenger wanted to find out if there are some other cases in the past of similar situation.
Right.
And he used ChatGPT. And ChatGPT hallucinated and came up with over a dozen instances of similar cases that actually did not happen.
Wow.
And this lawyer did not even check it again. He just sends it to the court, and nobody could find any instance of that. So AI hallucination is a big problem.
Yeah.
So coming back to what I was saying was AI programs need to be trained with the right information. And our AI program, which is called Construction IQ, is trained on years of data from a wide variety of contractors and engineers and so on. So it is also validated by subject matter experts on regular basis. So when I see an issue that is taken to the top of the priority, it actually is the right priority. And if for some reason I see that no, maybe there's something else that is higher priority, the program actually gives me the option to train it as well on the go. So it's really well trained, but also if I still do not agree with it, I can continue to train it on my project as well. And that's why this power of AI through Construction IQ is becoming a game changer in the construction industry.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, where do you see this going in the future?
AI would be powering a lot of construction data, whether it is on-site data or whether in the office data. Because there's a term that we are hearing a lot called analysis paralysis. Now what that means is there's so much analysis happening around the world in the construction field. There's so much data being generated that it's very hard for people to figure out how to make sense of it. So artificial intelligence and machine learning is going to take that off our plate. It's going to analyze the information and put it in front of us in an actionable format. Now I'm going to underline this word here or use those air quotes to say actionable format, because again, if I have got all this data sitting in front of me and I do not know how to action it, it's of no use. Again, analysis paralysis, right?
Yeah.
So that putting the information in front of us in an actionable format is really important. And that's what's going to happen moving in the future. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, all these technologies are going to simplify our jobs by making sure that they provide us the information at the right time, in the right format, and also in the right priority.
I'd love to hear about your books on technology being used in the building to construction industry.
It's a funny story. I would say I'm really lucky I was the right place at the right time. I used to write a lot of manuals, and suddenly someone told me, hey, why don't you publish it? And I was like, who's going to pay for this?
Right.
And they said, no, there are people who are looking for some easy to understand, simple tutorials where they can learn the technology. And that's how I started writing my books. And again, I reckon the community has been very, very kind to me. They have adopted my books. My books are used by over 24 universities worldwide.
Wow.
Again, it's a blessing to be in this community, and the fact that the community actually accepts what I write, I reckon I'm just the right person at the right time in the right place.
That's amazing. Could you tell us a bit about your most recent book?
Yeah, so my last book that I wrote came out last year. It's on a software called Advanced Steel. Like if you look around, all the steel work, that's designed and modeled in some program. So Advanced Steel is one of those programs that allows the structural engineers to start putting all these beams and columns together, put the connections in, and then most importantly, do your fabrication drawings. So somebody needs to cut this beam. Somebody needs to make sure that the beam is cut at the right size. Somebody needs to figure out how many bolts to go in. So so that book talks about all these things about structural steel detailing and design.
It's crazy how easy it is to take for granted, right? We look at all these structures, we don't look into the complexities of how all this gets put together.
Look at all these boards in here. This is pure art to me. When I look at this stuff here,
right?
My son, I've got a 13-year-old son, and he's like, Dad, what are you looking at? And I said, this is pure art to me. When I look at all this stuff here, that's that's my place to go.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's definitely odd. If you'd like to dive a little bit more into your company and maybe your specific role in it.
Yes. So as I said, my company, Autodesk, we are one of the leading provider of technology worldwide. As I said, starting from manufacturing, where anything that needs to be manufactured needs to be created on the computer first to make sure everything fits perfectly.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of one of our customers. I can't name them, unfortunately. We were visiting their office in Kansas City recently, and their R&D team told us that they used to have this particular product. They need to evolve it, right? So if they just drew it on a piece of paper or through lines, arcs, and circles, they would not figure out whether the things would fit correctly or not.
Right.
And they had to go back and forth, fabricating it, manufacturing it, and that would make them lose a lot of money. Whereas once they started putting it in the computer first, making the 3D model of it, we call it as digital prototype, they were straight away able to figure out what the challenges were, what were the things that were not fitting together. And even if they were fitting together, once they opened that tool, whether the fit still worked or not, they were able to do all that. Wow. And as a result, they were able to save so much money in their physical prototypes. So that's in the manufacturing space. Same thing in the construction space. My company is one of the biggest provider of technology in the construction space, because anything that is built, before we even start digging the site, it is built on the computer first. Again, if you look at this here, look at all the steel work, look at all the duct work, all the electricals, plumbing, hydraulics. We need to make sure that if I've got a duct going there, there's no pipe cutting into it.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that if there's a steel beam going there, I can't place a duct there. So all this needs to be done in the computer first. And in doing that, we need to make sure that things do not clash, right?
Yeah.
Now, architects do their own thing, mechanical engineer does their own thing, structural engineer does their own thing. We need to bring all these things together.
Yeah, definitely.
So not only just helping the engineers and architects build these things, but helping them bring them together. And after bringing them together, if there are some problems, notifying them that there's a problem and you need to fix it.
Yeah.
Not only just in the design phase, but in the construction phase as well, as I was explaining all the issues created on site. And our third tier is in the media and entertainment. As I said, most of the Hollywood movies these days, all the animations and special effects and so on, they use some of our softwares or one of our softwares to do that for sure.
Oh, that's great. So we're here at the Sydney Build Expo 2024. Was there any exhibitors that you found interesting or that stood out to you this year so far?
But, to be honest, I can't name one. Everyone is doing a brilliant job. I look at some of this technology, and not just in the computer space, all the robotics happening. There's a booth there where they are actually building the plans of homes on the floor.
Wow.
And imagine having a technology like that at your disposal. Some of the other people here doing some printing stuff and so on, it's amazing. The fact that there are so many people coming in, and as I said at the start, all these women coming in makes me really happy, because we really, really need a diverse workforce in this space. And I'm really glad I came this year, because again, this is hands down one of my best years coming to Sydney Build. I cannot wait to come back next year.
Oh, that's great. It's only day one as well. We've still got a whole extra day as well. Really looking forward to it. It's been an absolute pleasure. Deepak, is there anything you'd like to say to the audience watching now?
I just want to say, if you're coming here, please make sure you go and visit all these booths. These people spend a lot of money. They also do a lot of hard work. Please come and visit all these booths here. Have a chat with them, see what they do. There are a lot of really good swags to give away as well. A lot of lollies to give away. I love lollies. I steal lollies. So come and have a chat with these people. They would love to listen to what you do, and they'll be really happy to tell you their stories and what they do in their work. So please come along, have a chat with people. Make sure you visit most of the booths if possible.